This is a presentation on our research of the effects of slang on the perception of intelligence.
In order to properly do research on the effects of slang, it is important that we have a set definition of what slang is. Slang is an ever-changing set of colloquial words and phrases that speakers use to establish or reinforce social identity or cohesiveness within a group or with a trend or fashion at large. The use of slang is extremely common in almost every branch of society. With that being said, some groups utilize slang more than others. Robert Moore explains that slang use is more common among marginalized groups. While individuals held in high regard, such as professors, priests, presidents, and the like, do use slang, they often will resort to standard English or even honorifics to reinforce their status and power.
The geographic area where we conducted our research, Hawaii, is known for having its own unique Creole language, Pidgin. While Hawaii Creole English, also known as HCE, is an official language, it is extremely different from Standard English. Studies have shown that those who are unfamiliar with or do not utilize Creole forms of languages often look down upon those who do. While this is not the focus of our study, the extremely common use of a Creole language among our respondents may affect their perception of slang in day-to-day conversation.
Connie Ebel did research into the use of slang among college students. She collected data for over 20 years, and with that data, she found three main effects of slang usage. 1. It creates a sense of informality. 2. It becomes a form of group identification. And finally, 3. It is used to show opposition to authority. She also points out that slang is an ever-changing aspect of communication and terms often become outdated and unused. William Burke explains to us that there are 16 reasons why individuals choose to use slang. This ranges from the ability to be concise while speaking to showing group membership and making others feel as if they are outsiders. Ora and Alimi looked into the creation of slang among college students. This is an important aspect as we conducted our research using college students as our respondents.
Martin, Weber, and Brandt researched the effect of professors using slang in a classroom setting. They found that students had mixed reviews on the appropriateness of slang use by professors. Overall, though, professors were rated just as credible as those who did not use slang. Haberstraw researched how slang changed the perception of online counselors' credibility. This study also used college students as a sample group. The study found that when the counselors used slang and informal language while the students were using standard English, they were rated negatively. However, when only using slang in response to the students' use of informal language, the performance was rated as more average. Based on the research presented in the literature review, we hypothesize that the use of slang will have a significantly negative impact on the respondent's perceived intelligence level of the speaker in general aspects of communication.
In order to conduct our research, Austin and I went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa Campus Center and the Campus Center food court. We found students there and approached them and asked them if they would participate in our survey. Once they agreed, we handed them a response sheet and asked them to listen to and evaluate the two different speakers based on their intelligence, professionalism, and trustworthiness. When that was done, we thanked them for their time and reassured them that they would remain anonymous. Here are the slang and formal English recordings that we played for our respondents in our study.
This weekend was off the chain. I went to the beach. The water looked frickin' awesome. The waves were gnarly and I surfed for hell long. There were hot girls everywhere. I talked up this one chick I met and got her digits. We going out next weekend to a bar to slam some drinks. I watched the sunset and there were so many trippy colors. This weekend was a blast, yo. This weekend I had a lot of fun. I went to the beach. The water was absolutely gorgeous. The waves were perfect and I surfed to my heart's content. The beach was covered with beautiful girls. I had a very pleasurable conversation with a girl I met there. We exchanged information and are meeting next weekend to have some drinks. At the end of the day, I watched a beautiful sunset of orange and pink. I have to say, this weekend was a complete success.
After collecting all of our data, we conducted paired sample t-tests for each condition. A noticeable difference was found in the rating of all three variables for the two conditions, with formal language being rated higher than slang. These results support our hypothesis in that slang use negatively affects the perception of the speaker's intelligence.
So, what does all of this mean? The respondents showed that they felt the speaker using formal English was more intelligent, more professional, and more trustworthy than the speaker using slang. Professionalism had the largest difference, with the formal speaker being rated on an average 4 points higher than the speaker using slang. The smallest difference was found with trustworthiness. This suggests that while sounding more professional and intelligent, formal language use may have less of an impact on the speaker's perceived trustworthiness. There were, however, some limitations in our study. These include the fact that all responses were collected from the same area on the same day. There were only 30 respondents. All respondents were within a 10-year age range. All were students at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And all respondents listened to the recorded samples in the same order, slang being first, formal English being second. Some possible effects of these limitations include the listening order could have created bias within the respondents, and the lack of diversity in the sample and small sample size does not give a representative view of the larger population.
For future studies, we suggest collecting a larger sample and being sure to have respondents from a wider age range, as well as more economically and culturally diverse backgrounds. This will ensure that the data collected will be more representative of the general population.